SugarMan.
He's my most memorable artist.
Bob Dylan was mild to this guy.
He was this wandering spirit around the city. When he opened that...
Hello, I'm Rodriguez. I'm here in London, and I am a musician, and I just played the Jersey Music Festival, and we're here to do another show, a small appearance or exhibition with the film.
My name is Malik. I'm the director of Searching for SugarMan.
He was a mystery. And we found out that he had committed suicide.
The story differs a lot, and a lot of people have different versions of the story.
He set himself alight on stage.
He reached down and pulled up a gun and pulled the trigger. I thought it'd make a good story, find out how Rodriguez died.
So we started looking quite deeply at the lyrics.
And one day, just by accident, I found it. What I thought was the end of story was actually just the beginning, and the best part was still to come.
I found a story in 2006 when I was traveling around Africa and South America looking for stories. I was scouting with a camera, and I found a few good ones before, like in Ethiopia and Mexico and stuff. And then I went to Cape Town, and Steven Sugar Seagerman, who was a character of this film, told me this story. And I was like, wow, this is the best story I ever heard in my life, and I'm probably ever gonna hear. It was like a screenwriter had written the perfect script, or even if it was a script, it wouldn't be believable because it was too good. And all this had happened, and it was all true, and I was thrilled when I heard the story.
If I had to name 10 artists that I've ever been involved with, Rodriguez would be in the top 5.
SugarMan.
He's my most memorable artist.
Bob Dylan was mild to this guy.
He was this wandering spirit around the city. When he opened up and sang, you went, whoa, this guy's got it.
Well, first it was supposed to be just a TV thing. I only did TV before. So it took a while until I kind of realized it could be longer, it could be an hour, maybe it could be feature length, and maybe it could be like something like a big thing. For me it was a big step to take that. And then I went out and I interviewed all the key characters in the movie, and I was like scared that they wouldn't be still around or that they wouldn't remember him because it was 40 years ago. And I called them and they were all like, please, just come here, I need to tell this story. And no one has asked me about this story for 40 years because, in America no one cared. And they didn't know about South Africa. The producers, for example, Steve Rowland, I told him about that the album he made was big in South Africa. He didn't know that. But it was just beautiful to see that all those art producers that have been working with Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, and they say, no, Rodriguez was the guy that was the highlight of my recording career.
The thing is that some people ask me my positions, and I describe myself as a musical political.
Any revolution needs an anthem.
The message it had was be anti-establishment. The first opposition to apartheid, they were influenced by Rodriguez.
I think the social realism of South Africa at the time had a lot of similarities to the things that were happening in the United States, where people were protesting the war, protesting the draft, protesting the leaving the country. So a lot of similarities, I think, in both cultures. I think that's reflected in Detroit too, because we're in the United States in the sense that people were demonstrating against the war, getting fired on and shot, and something like that. So yeah, people demonstrating for change.
It's a bit of a mystery how the first copy of Cold Fact came to South Africa, but to us, it was one of the most famous records of all time. He was the soundtrack to our lives.
I've only written 30 songs, but I can write a ballad, I can write a boy girl theme, but the social things that are happening in the environment, to the environment, affect me, and so that's why I choose to write that way, and that subject matter. But thank you.
Yes, I can. Rodriguez really is an inspiration for any people who do movies, because the way he did it is really the way you should do it. People told him, no, your name shouldn't be Rodriguez, you should change it to something American sounding, and people said if you just change a few words in the song then it could be played on radio. You can't sing stuff like this. And Rodriguez said, no, I'm Rodriguez, and this is the lyrics I want to sing. I'm not going to do that. And everyone said, that's the reason why you're going to fail. And then he failed, and then everyone thought I was right. If he only had listened to me, he would have had a career. But now, 30 years later, it's proven that it's completely the other way around. The reason why he's so popular in South Africa, why people really love him, not just like him, they love him, is because of this, that he kept his integrity. Every single word he sings is his words. You feel it. It's so easy to touch that what he sings is true and real, and it's his voice. And you should do that. You should do it that way. If you otherwise, there's no point in doing any kind of art if you do someone else's business. It's your baby. It should be.
There's a lot of
One of the things in the film.
it's indescribable in the sense that after all those years that I'm here in another country in South Africa, and they're all coming to the shows and like that, and it's a great feeling. But the word "great" doesn't describe it. It's a real sense of arriving. You know.
This kind of magical quality that all genuine poets and artists have.
No, I did not expect that it would blow up as it has done. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It's really overwhelming. You know, everything's like turning the whole. Rodriguez never performed for more than like 300 people. Now it's going to be on David Letterman. It's going to be millions who see him and hear him, and since those albums are that good, I mean, I really believe that this could be like a Nick Drake, for example. Nick Drake was famous when he was alive, and now everyone knows him. Why? Because the songs were that good. It's the same here. The songs are that good. It could be an album that comes completely common knowledge for everybody. So, and to be part of that, you know, if that happens, or just what happened already, it's like I feel blessed to have found this story.
He's like a wise man, a prophet, way beyond just being a musical artist.
Yeah, it was electric. It was epic. It was the band made me look good too. They're all South Africans. They had practiced my stuff, and then the surprise is that the audience was also participating in the songs, and so I knew that they were sincere and genuine. It's a very moving time for me, and I remember every second of it. And so too, last night we did a small presentation for the film, and a lot of South Africans in the audience. In fact, during the Q&A, they pretty much held that all together. But yeah, South Africa, young bloods, you got my heart, you know.
Well, the challenges to make this film was partly. I knew that the second part was going to be easy because it's going to be, you know, it's a beautiful thing, you know. It's going to be this resurrection. It's almost like, you know, a dead man comes back to life. But the first part of the film, where you don't really know what's going on, you don't really know where everything is heading, you don't know that it will be this payoff. I thought I need to concentrate to make that part visually attractive and really get a pace in the editing, so it's kind of progressive and it goes on. So you don't, you know, you need to see the whole movie, then you will understand the whole thing. And so there were a lot of thoughts about how to make that, and also without any Rodriguez was never famous, so and the family didn't have a video camera, so there were nothing filmed. So we need to be creative on that, how to solve the visuals. We used animation and Super 8, and I tried to. It was basically a one-man project to make this visually interesting.
Said wanted, and have you seen this man? Matter of fact, I have seen him before.
Sounds like something you would make up if you were bragging on some dream or something.
I think the advice is, first of all, to fall in love so much that you really want to do it. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort, and you need love. That's the fuel. That you every single day you work with the thing, you're happy because it's otherwise you will be bored and you will lose interest. So you need to find something that you really want to do. That's the first thing. And then when you have that, it gets easier and easier every single day, because as you edit, things get better and better, of course. Every day you get a little bit better, and suddenly you think that what you're doing is pretty attractive. You're doing something that it's like when you do something, a golden sculpture or something. In the beginning it's just this kind of like that, but then after a while it's like, no, it's gonna start, it looks pretty nice, and if I put a little ear here and a little hat here, it looks even nicer. Wow! And so the hardest thing, I think, by far, is that first initial to actually start working. Then it gets easier and easier every single day. And even if you have a lot of obstacles and people who say, we're not going to give you any money and your film sucks, and that's going to happen. That happened to this film several times. But still, if you already are in that creative process, it's pretty easy to continue, because you're in love with what you're doing. I needed someone who really knew how to do this, how to produce a movie and how to get it out there. And they were the best in the world. I mean, at least the best in Europe, I would say. They really are top of they are so good. And I was dreaming, to be honest, I was dreaming about those people. I was sitting, before I even contacted them, I was Googling, like, what had they done, and I loved Man on Wire. I thought that was a fantastic film, and I thought there were some similarities. It was like a retelling of a thing that had a real climax, and I thought that they would maybe understand this movie. They would feel that it was something for them. And then when I called to their office, after waiting quite a long time, just dreaming about it, I called them and I said, I have a story that is as good as Man on Wire. Could I please get a film with Simon Sheen? I didn't get any answer, but then later we actually met, and then they came on board.
Songwriters, musicians, artists, free spirits, I think what it says to me is that it's never too early and it's never too late. That you take your works to the world market, and you'll see that, so you don't have to worry about the domestic market. You can take your talents out of that area, and probably and through the internet, that's more than possible. That's how I surfaced, and also in Australia, how I got surfaced there. This guy named Holger Brockman, who was a DJ, started playing me on the radio after midnight on 3JJJ, and so that made the cause to sell out the concerts. But in that case, maybe a young band should look for getting airplay for like 6 months at some kind of station, like a bunch of stations, as a plan, to get exposure. That's how I broke into Australia. And so they it's my fan base is English speaking, Afrikaans, but Australians got a hippie community there too, and now we're trying to break into the American market, and so here we are in London with that mission, and I'm for peace, prosperity, pursuit of happiness. And how about a little justice, in a way? So that's pretty much what I'd like to say. And I look forward to returning to South Africa and meeting everyone there. And maybe in a while it will be possible.
Oh, I love them. I mean, Sugar, for example, who was the guy I met most in South Africa. Is this wonderful, wonderful man, energetic and warm and generous. And he gave me a week of his time to shoot this film. Hard stuff. He was always in the car. The first scene we took it. Many times it was dangerous. Cars came. He got tired. It was hot. And I love that country. That's the reason why this film came about. It's the beauty of South Africa. My first idea was I wanted to go to South Africa because I knew the country was the most beautiful in the world. And then I found a story inside South Africa. And South Africa is the best.
We have to go to a sound check, and that's just basically we see who we're going to work with tonight. So, and that's important because it gets so busy that we're. And so, adieu. Buy a donkey. As it live.
That all genuine poets and artists have. he's representative of the human spirit, of what's possible.
This is all too strange to be true. These are the days of miracles and wonder.